Nocturne, Sivir, and Aurelia for Team Coast. Yes,
Right.
because they did lose one. So only 5 bans. Those are the 5 bans. Cassian first pick. Gnar plus Rek'Sai both getting through. Preferred over the Gnar Jarvan.
Still up.
Is an interesting choice.
Crazy.
I still do really like Rek'Sai, especially because this is the previous patch before the second round of nerfs for her. So I will not critique them for not taking the Jarvan plus Gnar combo, even though it's fun to say.
You know, talking to a few of the other analysts as well, they had an interesting idea of that Rek'Sai. They were saying, you know, everybody bans it in our scrims. It's never in solo queue, so nobody gets to practice it.
Honestly, she does not take a lot of skill to play. She's not very hard to play.
So what are you saying about the junglers, Kobe?
What jungler?
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, she's really easy to pick up just because everything she has is melee. So the skill required to play Rek'Sai is mostly about planning routes, preparing your canal, preparing your tunnel route, your network of tunnels, and then growing accustomed, obviously, to the sonar aspect.
All right. And Coast, we see them obviously not, as we said, going for the Jarvan. They are panning out the rest of their team, with Graves being picked up for Maple Street coming into this game. He's been kind of on the Sivir train. Going to lock that in. We also see the Kassadin that could go either mid lane or top lane for Team 8, so they're kind of giving themselves the ambiguity as they come into this matchup. Corki and Thresh locked in for Coast.
I would pretty much at this point assume Kassadin is mid because I do not like running Kassadin into Gnar. So I think that they are going to still pick something for Kali Trolls, which is always exciting because that guy will play many champions in the top lane that others will shy away from. Vel'Koz is an interesting choice for support. Definitely has good poke value.
That's a really annoying lane to play against, and that's for sure.
It would put a lot of pressure on a Thresh Corki before Corki hits level 6.
That's true.
So that would be an interesting duo. Kassadin already locked in means they do have Chase. So they want to spread the team out. So they've got Kassadin, who would be able to chase somebody down, and they've got Jax for split pushing. So if they focus some Jarvan attention into the Jax lane and can get Kali Trolls up to a Trinity Force on his Jax, and they might be able to spread the team out and allow Kassadin to really make use of that mobility. Let's see here on the side of Coast, though. They've already got this very, very solid squad that we've seen many times. Rek'Sai and Gnar are both very strong for team fights. And as we've said so many times, the Corki mid game, the poke that he brings, the Trinity Force spike that he brings, really allows for a lot of these teams to take control in that mid game.
And they're playing different as well. Obviously, the team is different as Ahri is locked in, but across the board, you know, we look at the play style of Mash. It's not what we saw from him in the beginning. He's not trying to highlight himself as the only AD carry that's going to make the game happen for the team. Everybody kind of takes their own role, and I think it pans out well for Coast. A lot of people should think they should be 2-0. Don't deserve it because of that one call, but they're definitely a team you can't just leave to the wayside and not train for them for the week. They will catch you off guard.
That is definitely something to keep in mind. If the endgame shot calling is a weakness for Coast, split pushing is a great strategy to really pick at that weakness. So if Team 8 can actually get Kali Trolls to the point where he's a big threat, then they can force Coast into some difficult decisions. It's something that Cloud9 likes to do a lot because High is so good at the endgame shot calling, and because they all listen to him and move immediately, they can split push very often and really take advantage of teams that are a little bit less decisive. Let's see if they can do it here, though. They did lock in some pick for themselves, so Team Coast looking to combat the map spread from Team 8, and Ahri definitely does have the ability to pick off along with Rek'Sai, so if we see some Rek'Sai tunnels get left up for a long time in enemy territory, Coast can easily pick somebody off.
One thing you definitely have to look for when playing against a Rek'Sai, you got to be careful of those windows and where all of the tunnels are. Coaches meeting up in the middle as they leave the teams now. It's all up to them. And we actually, you know, heard a few things in videos. Zion put out his video saying it's really hard to watch from the outside. I've never experienced this, but it's really tough to watch the team play. As the teams stride onto the Rift, cast your vote for who's going to come out on top. Send hashtag T8win or hashtag CSTwin to @LOL Esports. And as we hop onto the Rift, both teams obviously looking for a win as we come out this week. It is 1-1 for each. A win over TSM coming from Teammate lately. And
yeah, impressive.
That win over Winter Fox for Coast recently as they come into this game, hoping to carry that momentum. You know, an interesting thing about this season is there's no super weeks. So if you're not, I'd say a lot of teams are going to go 1-1 in the weeks. Say that just happens, right? 2-0s that are going to happen. They're going to feel good. But if you get all your wins early, and you can, you know, go 1-1s or more 2-0s, you're going to stay at the top. There's no super weeks for a team to fall from grace or to gain 4 games. It's going to be tough. You have to win all of them as they come up. And right now, Teammate and Coast hoping that's the goal.
Yes, indeed. Both of them looking to get that second win right here. Somebody's dream will come true today, Rivington.
Hopefully not in 80 minutes.
We have the Kassadin Classic start with the Flask. Up against Ari here in the mid lane, looking to sustain. Very easy for him to just continuously throw out null spheres for harass and get his mana back, not only from the Flask, but constantly spamming out the Nether Blade active to get that large chunk of missing mana back. So he will be very free with his null sphere casting. Once Ari does hit that level 6, though, will be fairly scary. Remember, this is the old patch, so Ari does not have the extra move speed, the whole rework thing. Not actually in effect yet. However, remember Jez's long-time Ari player.
Yeah.
Whatever patch, one of his favorite champions. And even though it isn't the rework Ari, he's going to make a lot of use of his auto attacks. It's a big part of this matchup. Ari has very responsive and long-range auto attack for a mage. I'll look to get a lot of those in and try to abuse Kassadin. Well, he's not paying attention. What did they
TP for Chris to the bottom lane because of the swap top. It looks like he wants to get too fast here. And Calitrolls is going to be taking that for himself. So actually approach lane, pretty much the same level here as Chris. Chris, as we said before, having very, very good games. What we did see in Europe, the Jax, the Whirlid play against the Gnar was pretty effective. We'll see if he can have the same result.
So, Jax started a camp. Chris, I think, started a camp as well.
TP to lane.
Both of those guys looking to match up, and Jax is able to find his lane matchup.
Oh.
Purpose pops with the classic mid early.
In a row now.
So Chris did not do a camp early. How did he? Yeah.
No, Chris teleported straight down to the lane and started pushing as soon as he could. So he's still actually level 1.
Oh, big advantage here for Teammate. Yeah.
Yep.
Big advantage for Teammate. Being the one to initiate the lane swap, having their top laner do a jungle camp and abuse that early level 2. Good counter strike coming in to establish lane dominance.
Yep.
Coast really not expecting that lane swap. I wasn't actually paying attention either.
That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Successful lane swap. Got even the casters. So 3.5 minutes in, a gank from Porpoise, and we already see the jumps in from Calitrolls. Looks like he has actually head over, so he does have that counter-strike. Power will come third. It's in. There's the damage counter-strike. Nax forcing the flash onto Chris. And this is the first time we've actually seen Chris having trouble in lane. Impaler focusing mid now. They're going to blow the flash on this one. So they get a little bit back on that. But now that Chris is having trouble, I'm interested to see how Impaler can control the game, because usually that lane is doing very well for Coast.
Yeah, and he's going to have to play a lot more passive now. Kassadin really going to need to soak up experience to get to level 6 before he can be further out in the lane. Right now, he really needs to call for a ward. Jarvan just back in base, so what they should have done is have Slushy notify Porpoise, hey, I just got my flash blown. I'm going to need some support with warding. So he puts his trinket down. That will run out very quickly. Trinket ward. And Porpoise will probably putting his pink ward around that mid lane.
Hopefully the top side, just above on Slushy. Keep him safe. Not getting too much trading out of this one, as I say that. A nice binding and a buckshot coming from Maple Street. Not much harass that's going to stick with the Doran's Blades for right now.
Ooh, trying to take advantage of the aggressive play from Cali.
Does a good read.
Gets into the bush. Porpoise is in the area, though, so he could join. At best, I feel like this could burn a flash from Cali.
This is going to be tough now. Cali has a whole minion line to jump to, so they won't really be blowing a flash here. They're also going to be able to go on this. He's not going to try to flash. They're going in, and Impaler is in big trouble. That's a few more hits. No long-range attacks coming in for Team A, and that is what saves Impaler's life. A beautiful counter gank coming in here from Porpoise to fly down the river.
And they actually did burn Cali's flash there, even though it was aggressively looking for the kill.
Trying to get the kill.
In the end, Summoner Spell burn for Cali. I mean, he did trade it for the junglers, but still their goal was to try and curb this Jack's aggression. Can he actually?
I don't know. Cali doesn't have exactly a full combo of mana, so they got to hit it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't think he can actually get a kill here, so he's probably just waiting for a counter gank. He suspects a return from Rek'Sai.
How much time is this costing Porpoise, though, if they don't get anything out of it?
Yeah, exactly. That's always the problem with counter ganks. Now it's a Mininar, though. A bit easier of a target.
Yeah.
They could at least get a chunk on him.
Knowing the flash is down, they're really, really sticking on that. Could be the jump. Oh, he actually gets popped on his jump, so he's there for the full duration. They got everything to happen perfectly.
So that was just Chris popping the jump a little early.
Yeah.
I think.
A little excited.
Well, he was scared about getting bursted out just in the duration of the knockup, chained right after the stun. So worst of both worlds there for Chris, though. Goes down. Impaler looking to take advantage of the flashless Kassadin, level 6.
Oh, very nicely done. Gets it. Knew they would take a little bit of damage, but they also knew they were coming out with the kill. So that'll help Jez's get going. Impaler's still making moves. The bottom lane may have gotten a hit, but he makes sure something happens in the mid lane for Coast.
Yeah, spreading out his ganks, whereas Porpoise really focusing on that Jax. As we said in Champion Select, we figured teammate was probably going to focus on the Jax, get the Jax fed so they can, bring their entire team comp together and get that split pushing threat. True to form, they did. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai spreading his love around the map, looking for top now. Wants to get the other lanes ahead.
There's no wards there either. They are tunneled right in on this. Black Shield quite early, but they don't feel like they can actually go in for the full kill. That would just be a quick draw by Maple Street to get out. He goes ahead and he stomps out that tunnel in the top lane. And we'll have level 6s actually coming soon here. You can see 75% up that experience bar for Porpoise, so we may see actually another hit here on Jez's in the mid lane since he just had a dive.
Let's see here, yeah. Slushie going to try and stay topped off from now on.
Yeah, he's got the catalyst. It should be okay.
Should be a bit safer. Jez still has his Ignite, though, by the way, so that all-in from RA still extremely scary for the mid lane if there's any sort of return from Rek'Sai. That's just a farming ult.
The majestic farm alarm.
The farm alarm, I like it. What were we going? Oh yeah, Jax. Jax has gone with the first item Sheen. My mind is still scattered from the first game of the day. The Jax first item Sheen actually tells me that they still want to go aggressive in the bottom lane and they want to get more kills for Cali.
That's going to hurt.
Because he got with the bursty combo. Well, that's not little. That's not
holy macaroni!
So
had that been a little earlier, Spirit Rush was down. He took a little too long.
Well, I mean that's really poor.
Like 20 seconds.
It's just really poor teamwork.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're gonna go in at all,
she had no idea.
If you're gonna go in at all, you both go in at the same time. There we go. We see the burst though from the Sheen early pickup from Jax. It's a bit more risky of an early buy instead of getting the phage, but he does have that burst and kill threat for Chris. And this is the type of player that Cali is. He always looks for the opportunity to kill his opponent, to really get that pressure by either killing them or forcing them out of lane. He's definitely a bully. Looking for a gank now, actually, is Cali.
He's hatching that ward there in the
Both of them are going through wards, so a lot of attention paid mid here. And Jez is really coming out on top so far.
You just mentioned Cali being able to roam. That means he's having a little too easy of a time in bottom lane. But like you said, focusing on Jez's for the time being. 70 to 54. The Phoenix Codex helping him to get a little more AP under his belt to start off. Figuring he can keep distance from Slushie on that. Now getting the blue, he should be able to be a pretty big nuisance here. We might actually see some roam out of him if Slushie also leaves the lane. 63 to 53 here on the bottom. Cali Trolls, we have to remember, playing very smart as he did the Wolf, or Raptor camp first, I should say, and then teleported to lane, meeting Chris, level 2 to level 1. And he's so far been able to work that advantage the whole time. Good help from Porpoise.
You can tell the dynamic of the lane now. Callie has all of the pressure, all of the kill potential, and Chris is just trying to sneak CS with the boomerang. Constantly getting bullied by Callie. Ooh, trying to sneak here. Little bit too sneaky. Callie makes the pay. Everybody in the audience felt that one. Chris with a black eye.
Yeah, he's going to have to leave on this. Chugging the last potion he had anyways. Santorin have something to say about this game. And right now, a lot of the game has been all about Porpoise making moves with the rest of the team. Helping that bottom out. Impaler hasn't led his team astray on this one. Still helping to get kills. That's the brush control. Flays the quick draw. A few more shots. One more bullet. No, he cannot get it to hit. That's the rest of the mana. The teleport right in the middle of the fight. Two-man counter-strike. That's Mash getting mashed all the way down. Sheep's the next one. This is the level 9 Callie Trolls now. He's going to be able to wreak havoc. Oh, of course he's going to flash. A nice black shield is Dodo. Hardly any utility to himself in mana and health. Still knows he has to stay in the fight. Teammate come up with a nice kill in top lane.
Callie is such a beast. Comes in, you know, as I said, he likes to punish the person that he's facing against in lane, and then uses teleport offensively as well. Picks up another kill. Remember the game plan from Champion Select for Team 8 this time. Jax, get him fed enough so he can be a giant threat. He's going to be split pushing. Already, Callie starting to take over the game. Love that hook, though. The hook from Sheep was magnificent. Maple spams every button to get out of that. Even the buckshot. But he's able to dodge the last rocket, which is the important part. And he even gets off the extra damage from his collateral. Coast here, during the replay, took the opportunity to jump on Dragon. They know that there's no teleport from Callie, and Callie went back top. So good job by Coast.
Good choice.
You know, bringing that one back. Callie, though, up top. Nobody wants to go lane against him now. He's going to shove that lane in, put a lot of pressure on the turret. Chris does not have teleport either, so he's going to have to walk all the way up there. And Callie can really put a big hurting on this turret. As we said, early Sheen plus just the passive of Jax, he will wreck that turret and stack up his passive up so that once Gnar gets there, he's going to have a fully stacked attack speed passive, and he can just jump at him through the minion line. If Chris gets too close, he's going to feel it.
They're really working on this bottom lane. The wards are cleared. I thought it was going to be a Dark Passage Lantern, and then Impaler would have the move to keep going in, but they decide to back off. Jez is with a bit of an unnecessary roam. Top lane is still getting hit up. You were saying about Callie Trolls earlier. Every time he's gone back, he's gotten a new recipe for that Triforce, so he's feeling real good right now.
Yeah, one of the scariest things that you do have to remember about Jax is that passive, you often forget about it.
Yeah.
If he's just sitting there auto-attacking and you run up to him in lane, can have a very frightening amount of burst as he jumps on you.
Real bad
Interesting steal here, though. On the ward, Impaler gets the smite. Porpoise a little bit too slow. And we can see mid lane here from Coast is doing a lot of work for them. The combo of the Ahri plus Rek'Sai is going to be where Team Coast are relying on to make their plays. So a lot of plays centered around this mid lane from Team Coast. They do steal away the red, but it's really going to be up to Jez's. Can we see Jez's get one of these picks? He's been on point with the charm so far.
Yeah, it's going to be close. He's already DFG coming out. We also see 128 to 95 CS, so now he has that potential to burst somebody down. We'll see if Santorin can be, or rather Impaler, Santorin's tweet now in my head. Impaler can get himself into a position where they can lock down maybe Slushy. It would be great if they can get him off the map, and the roam would be that much easier. Callie Trolls pushed up to the turret, so nothing much going to happen there. Impaler still going to look for it, though. He's spotted by a ward.
Yeah, that'd be a rough dive to pull off. I think what he's doing right here is looking for a counter gank because Gnar has no turret, and Gnar is behind. This, to him, it looks like, oh, this is such a juicy lane for Porpoise Pops to gank. So I'm going to bet that he's going up there. Uh-oh, Jez is here. He comes up big.
The DFG means he can go hard. Doesn't even need the Foxfire to actually go out. That goes off of a last tick of Ignite. They go hard. Both summoners down on both sides as we still
they're diving
have a
Callie
fight in the bottom lane. Callie getting dove as well. Coast really wanted to make some plays here with no mid laners to really come and attack this. They're able to get some good damage down. Callie makes it out alive, really unscathed in that instance. But Plays trying to be made here. It's good
What
to see.
a power play here from Coast. It all stems from Jez's solo play in the mid lane. Jez is, as we said, he was going to be one of the two we were looking for, him and Rek'Sai, to make a play for Coast. He does it. Solo kill onto Slushy in the mid lane.
Let's see how this starts.
This is how Porpoise goes and answers, though.
Yep.
So Jarvan can cover a lot of distance. He can jump a full screen if he uses everything. Flash, flag drag, Cataclysm. Great cleanup there from Porpoise. However, it was still a great power play there from Coast because Jesus makes the solo play. It draws the jungler. So once they see the jungler on the map, up top, Impaler, who is already in position, they force down the turret. So you get an objective after the single kill from Jesus.
Definitely something on the docket after they are able to achieve one thing they check off. One, then the other. One and then the other. Right now, Jez is back to lane. He gets blue. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go hard and push Slushy out of lane once again. He's going to have that ultimate back up. And he actually had Slushy before the ignites even went out on the last attack. So feeling good. He'll probably go hard once again with the DFG. Rod of Ages on Slushy is charging up as Impaler feels comfortable enough to start getting pink wards in. And even to see this as well, that they're defending them, just tells you how strong they feel.
Well, you know that they are very well aware that their main source of power here is the picks they can get with Jesus. So the way to bolster that power, vision. And they're trying to control it around that mid lane. Open up opportunities for Jesus to make more of the same plays.
Teleports are up and teams converging now towards the bottom side of the map. This could be something past the turret. We have Impaler here. Jez is once again second guesses his roam to make sure he can keep the lane nice and clean. Once he gets down here, though, these fights are going to explode. More trouble for Chris. Cali Trolls into the lane with the full Triforce. Chris, however, not doing too bad. He does have the Randuins built up, so at least he can take some of that damage now.
Yeah, I mean, Cali Trolls is doing a good job pushing Chris.
Yeah.
However, Chris, as we said, he's trying to sneak the CS. He's doing a good job of that. He's been able to scrounge up a decent amount and keep within range of Cali at least. However, being shoved up to his turret, it makes it harder to answer teleports. When Cali is the one constantly shoving, dueling power of Rek'Sai means there's one option for Jarvan. You run.
Run away.
Especially when you have Jez roaming around with vision control. This is how the mid lane matchup shows up in the jungle matchup. When your mid laner is that far behind and Jez brings a whole bunch more kill pressure, then you really have to respect it.
There's still a big amount of damage coming there from Slushy. Jesus has to keep himself safe, even though he does have a good escape. Seeing that Cali Trolls and the rest of the team can kind of keep that one goal in mind, to keep the split push going, is good. A lot of teams will stray from what they initially did once they start to get a lead. It's good that they're locking into it.
Yeah, I like that they're just going with more. They're trying to capitalize on the pink ward that they have. Use pink ward as bait.
Yep.
They already have a canal in place, just waiting for the picks. Chris is such a good target, though. They're not going to wander over there. He's available.
Pull a few towards mid. They think they can burst this one down. They are going to be able to take down Chris. That means the fight could follow. If they don't get out, they do. Not a problem.
I actually like the call from teammate. Give up the dragon, take another turret, or at least get turret pressure. It looks like they will take it. Second dragon.
They could have.
Almost nobody cares about second dragon.
No, they won't.
Trading that for a turret is really big for them. They're actually even going to get pressure on secondary.
Not enough minions. Cali Trolls teleport.
Turret didn't go down. They saved it.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes the Void Rush as well. That's going to be Impaler, and it looks like he misses as he goes to burrow. Cali Trolls gets a little more free time with Mash, and he takes him down. This is going to be Dodo coming in now. Soul Shackles goes out. This is going to give him a perfect escape. They can't follow past Slushy. He can slow them all in the AoE, and Coast is just left wondering now as they chase down a wild goose chase to repair what happened to Mash Me. Great job by teammate to reorganize.
Yeah, I like that. Good roam there from Dodo as well to cover the retreat. Cali Trolls, once again, comes up with an aggressive teleport play. Red buff number 2. Porpoise secured.
Got it. Very nicely done. So Coast actually gets out of this one just huffing and puffing. They didn't get too much. They were forced to leave. We'll see this once again.
All right. Callie is not scared of the Rek'Sai scream, jumps in. Oh, so that's one of the things, actually. Did you see how you cannot change the distance of the tunnel for Rek'Sai? It's one of the only frustrating things about playing Rek'Sai is that you can't control the distance. It's a set distance every time. So he dashes where he thinks Callie's going to go, but ends up on the wrong side, not able to get the knock up and protect his AD carry. Allowing Callie to get the kill and jump out. Porpoise, though, no such luck.
He's like, hey, this is this home side court? Well, how are you guys over here right now? Callie's so big. He's just going to take a few. 3 members. Takes a good amount of hits to get him down to half health, which is going to spell good things for when the team fights come for teammate. There's different targets to be organized on. Slushy with a nice clear and his Void Pulse, and they are easily able to secure this turret, only losing a bit of health. I don't know if they might have to give it up here. Chris is in Mega Gnar form. He can still get a good initiation. That's going to be a big one. Teammate did not expect this, but that's exactly what you have to wonder if Coast is going to do, is just jump on you immediately. Jez is in and out. A lot of the team has the possibility to do that. They close the gap, and then they disengage with a nice fight.
Showing why Gnar is such a popular early pick.
Yeah.
Even though he was kept down in CS, and he was getting bullied quite often, if you make the ultimate work, your team fight, your mid-game team fight, he's gone full tank, he's got his Randuin, that's all you need.
You always have that insurance policy.
Look at this, his Gnar is about to run out. The last second, he hops in and gets the ult plus the wallop.
Yeah.
Boom, back to mini Gnar, doesn't care at that point. He got everything off that he needed.
Took him by surprise.
Play there from Chris.
There's actually a fair bit of time when you're winding down from Mega Gnar, and then you get the speed up anyways from Hyper, so you're safely out of there if you can get the move. Very nicely done. Chris, a little bit of the mind games, and we see that Coast is not afraid here to make the moves on teammate. Taking a bit of a lead, definitely in turrets now, a little bit in gold, and 2 dragons to their name.
Don't give up for teammate, though. They still have Kassadin. Rod of Ages almost done stacking here. 1 more tick to go for Slushy on that, plus his needlessly large Rod already, and he makes the Zanyas. Now he can actually be another form of initiation. Jumping in, popping Zanyas, and then able to either continue the chase or opt for a retreat.
Yeah.
Jez is, though, with the not forgotten Deathfire Grasp, still available in competitive play for this week until we switch patches. So his ability to pick somebody off and pick 100 to 0 them is definitely going to be a big thing for teammate to worry about as they try to get that vision coverage back.
Let's see what teammate can do here. Definitely nothing coming from Coast that they're just going to hand over. Coast is just walking around with their death ball right now. Same thing as teammate. Both are trying to really find the same goal right now. That's why they're not doing too much. 5-5, 23 minutes in, and just a 2,000 gold lead doesn't really allow Coast to pressure the map the way they want just yet. Yep. Boards to be cleared out here. That's pretty much all the teams can do. As we have a minute on to Dragon.
Ooh. So oftentimes you can also use the tunnels as bait, not only with your ultimate, but also if you just stand on the other side of it. Unsuspecting players trying to get that 5 gold.
Just about to ask, can you void rush to one that they're standing on? Question answered.
Pop up right underneath them.
Yep.
So you can also see, though, the choice by teammate. Never forget the plan from teammate. Feed as much money into Callie as they could.
That's true.
There was a big wave down bottom. They sent Callie to clean up the wave. A bunch of minions down there. Meanwhile, Chris has been shoving top. Yep. So he's back even in CS right now. That's on the full tank Gnar, which is all that he needs to be. At this point, teammate are licking their wounds a little bit because Coast have Dragon stacking up, and they've lost control of the map, even though Callie's been making a lot of solo plays. They've really been hurting, especially from that mid lane. It's Slushy's time to shine, though. He's got his double items. Yep. Main 2 items here for Kassadin.
Well, it would definitely help if Slushy can start to put a little more pressure on. That means Callie wouldn't get as much in the lanes by himself. We've seen Chris and Impaler both kind of tending to him as Callie Trolls tries to get those 1v1 plays you were talking about in action. Sheep, the rest of the team doing a very good job. A lot of sweepers are ups too, so they still have the ability to clear this area. Coast has been all over the Dragons. They grab one more here at 25 minutes into the matchup, and this isn't even something teammate can answer, and that means that they're pretty much waiting for Coast to make a mistake now. That's when the game becomes pretty dangerous. When you're not making your own calls, you're hoping the team, your opposing team, makes a bad one.
Another red steal here for Team Coast as well. This one, they have the luxury of giving it over to MashMe as well, who, speak of 2-item power points here, this is ginormous for Corky. The Bork plus Trinity Force, very popular build for him now. And they're looking to push it and take advantage. Really keep your eyes on the picks here from Coast. That's the Death Sentence as well as the Charm. Cali is in the front line right now, but if they landed on him,
oh, if they land it, they go in. Actually, that's going to be Chris and Meganar. Now he goes back into small form, but they're getting some of the kills that they want. That's Cali Trolls low. Took them a little bit longer than they wanted, and they've lost Impaler and Jezis now. Now on to Chris. And a beautiful turn by Team 8. Very nicely done to make sure they were taking and picking out the people they wanted in that fight. That's going to be Mass forcing the flash. He is still slowed. He's going to be able to turn around a lot of damage. Whoa. Dodging out as well. The blue suede shoes coming into play there for MashMe and Fancy Feet. Very nicely done. Teammate has a lot of potential to continue these fights. But if you get that out of Coast, they disengaged it very well.
Yeah, impressive that they were able to get away from accident. Who also had flash up. So Cali here, he goes straight onto Jezis as Jezis jumps in his face.
Man.
Chris jumps in for his Gnar ultimate once again, is able to get that priority targets. Cali gets hooked. Great Death Sentence there to pick up that 1 kill and allow MashMe to get it. Good Lantern. They were trying to cover up the Lantern as best they could. Trying to get on top of it. You can't completely cover it up anymore, so you can just try and make it more difficult for your opponent, but Chris is able to spam it. The click quick enough and jump back out.
Gunblade Cali Trolls. All right.
Let's go for that Hex Tech.
Get it. Not something you usually see. We'll see what he can make happen with it. Looks like Coast, you can see now they have pretty good control of the map. None of this being rebutted by Team 8. They have the wards to see that they're losing everything, but I don't know.
Really good jungle control from Coast.
Yeah.
They've consistently been invading on Team 8, taking advantage with this Rek'Sai and leaving Rek'Sai tunnels further and further past neutral territory, even into Team 8's jungle, allowing them to make more plays in the future. Cali Trolls
these plays by himself. He does have a little bit of help here, actually. Porpoise and Slushy are just on the wing. Oh, really? All right. Impaler going for a ride. They're going to try to get Baron on this one. They'll get a little bit of help here. He does not decide to hook himself in. He's going to go ahead for the long way around. And they should be able to get this. A very nice bit of a sneak here on Baron. Maple Street coming in. Oh, Maple Street could have the plays. That's 1. He gets 2. Oh, and it's going to be the double. Can they hold this? That's going to be Cali Trolls coming in as well to help. Jez is on the other side. Impaler is down, so there's no 50-50 on the smite. Chris, however, now it's his turn to join the party. A new challenger approaches, and he now wants out. A little bit of a second guess on that one. The Baron goes down. That's going to be Cali Trolls. And what an attempt by Coast, really putting themselves on the wire, and it did not work.
I have to say, thinking back to that champion select, talking about the split push strategy and what it gives you. All right, so here comes Maple, the perfect guy to find him in Baron Pit. AoE everywhere.
Oh, the back
Baron
spikes.
back spikes. If there are more people behind him, back spikes come out, he gets the double kill, and that's the smite, more importantly. So they're able to force another cooldown out of Team Coast. Chris, with the right idea, you gnar everybody back into the Baron pit to try and get Baron to do more damage to them. However, he had no follow-up from his team. Has to take the exit dark passage right there from Sheep. Whoa, Cali Trolls has gotten himself into a 1 versus 3. Rough odds for him, and he can't pull it off. Remember, though, to set that entire play up, when we were talking about the strategy from Team 8, I like it, using it against Coast. The split push is exactly what they use to make Team Coast make some difficult calls. Yeah. And Team Coast went with a bold strategy of trying to sneak a Baron. You know, they had good ward coverage. They had the people down there.
Jax was bot.
However, this is the reason why teams are hesitant to do that. Maple Street does go check the Baron. There was too long where they were absent from the map, and it can turn disasters for you just like that. So Good job, teammate.
Ooh.
Using the split push to force a tough decision and reaping the rewards.
Yeah.
Calitro's a little bit aggro there at the end.
And that started to fill out Team 8 as well. If we look at the team, across the board, kind of the bottom lane is going to be the weakness for Team 8. But things like that, to get Maple Street going, spike him into that last Whisper that he practically did not have as he went back, is really going to start to help. And everybody can participate now as Coast was really, had the ball rolling.
Yeah, it not only does it help him, cut through Gnar, but also, since Graves is this semi-AD caster, AD carry type of champion, it really helps with his burst damage. He's got the flat penetration of a Ghost Blade. Uh-oh.
Continue.
Yeah, so flat penetration a while ago got reworked. Never mind, we're going to take another look at Cali getting picked off.
He's getting a little ahead of himself now, and it could start to hurt what Maple Street and the rest of the team have been trying to put together. Oh, that was actually really nice.
Good.
That wasn't a boomerang. That was just a flash hit.
Cali, though, cost them Dragon number 4. Rough. Very rough.
Rough indeed. He's been trying to make a few too many plays, and while you can't really knock somebody for it, once it starts to pull you down is when you get a little bit agitated. Come on, try to be nice. Try to be nice here.
Baron buff.
Just
they're not only are they unable to gain objectives with the Baron buff, but they actually lose the 4th dragon. So really, really good stuff here from Coast. Not losing their cool after failing that Baron.
Oh, are they really gonna? Okay, Gnar's coming up. He'll be able to clear a bit, but I don't think he'll be able to get close enough to stop this. He is Gnaring out. Never mind. He will stop it indeed. So Coast here in the bottom lane can fend for themselves. Not too much has to be done. Chris trying to get as much of a catch to prevent them from backing, just so the team can do whatever they want. It's not really going to give them an advantage, but they'll be able to grab just a tad bit back and grab some ground.
Yeah.
Seeing these Zanyas now, it's going to be harder for Jesus to pick people off. There's 2 of them to look at.
Yeah, that will make it harder. However, Cali Trolls has been the prime target for picking off, and he does not have one, nor do they have wards. So if Team 8 continue to go with a split push strategy without the vision coverage to support it, then Coast can continue to punish them for it. If they pick Cali off one more time...
Yeah. So I talked earlier about how cool and good it was that Team 8 was sticking to that initial goal. But everything that goes along with that initial goal, like you said, warding, keeping the lanes pushed, keeping all your ducks in a row, starts to fall away. And we can absolutely see that strategy kind of dwindling now for Team 8. Slushy's, or rather Calitrolls, is trying to take things into his own hands.
And it's a bit disappointing for the Team 8 fans because they did have the Baron buff, and that is the prime time to get that split pushing going and get it set up with your team. But you just have to be safer about it because 2 lanes of Baron buffed up minions can get you a huge advantage very quickly. They lost a lot of momentum though, and back to a fairly even game. Calitrolls is getting extremely beefy right now. Looks like he's going for that GA as well. In which case, their team fight is actually much stronger. Oops, a daisy. Posing for the audience, and he's rewarded with giant cheers.
This is a bit of a 5-finger folly. He's good. He's good. Watch him, like, seriously need that in the next fight.
It is a very, very, very important cooldown for Morgana. Support Morganas work really hard to get that Zanyas.
Hey, at least
takes him a long time.
You can't blame him for forgetting to use it. That's one of the things. Still some time on Baron. This is Team 8 setting up for that. Coast.
They want to be the ones picking this time.
Coast has to be very careful. Clear these tunnels out. You can have a Rek'Sai immediately.
Well, now they know you're there. Yeah. You just cleared the tunnel.
Maple Street. Definitely giving away that. No AD carry is going to be waltzing through the jungle by himself. So knowledge up for Coast. They're going to use that to easily defend this turret. And Impaler is going around the backside, making sure they don't get just completely taken apart from either side there. 35 minutes in, both teams having an idea about Baron coming back up with 4 dragons on the Coast. It'll be a dangerous fight for Team 8.
You can tell, though, they're putting in the work this time. Vision down. They want to be able to create the pressure once again. The only problem is they don't have Baron, so really hard for them to actually make these pushes effective. Costa doing a good job of just wave clearing. Baron coming up very quickly. I would be very hesitant to start that off without killing someone first. I don't I don't think
as teammate.
Either team. I don't think either team has a mandate. They can actually pull off a Baron.
Coast tried, so that's proven. It won't work with 2 right away. But at least they are attempting to get themselves a bigger lead and really close this game out. A lot of times we'll see teams just kind of waffle about, wait for that attack. Oh, not Cali Trolls. Knowing the team was there, he's going to go ahead and get a little aggression onto Impaler. Nothing big lost or used throughout that fight.
You know, a not very useful stat that I would still really like to see is gold earned from killing tunnels. How much do those 5 gold tunnels stack up by the end of the game?
Someday, Kobe.
Not very much, which is why it's a useless stat. Cali Troll is going to go aggro as he sees that Gnar will transform back to Mini. Running fairly low on mana, though, and Chris turns it around. Full tank Gnar, dishing it out.
He's getting the hyper back. Every time he gets 3, that movement speed, along with a bit more damage coming in, and we do see Cali Trolls is forced to kind of get himself out, using his Counter-Strike to be safe.
I think they're just farming until Cali can finish that item. Combine his
that makes a lot of sense.
There
I'm looking around the map. I'm like, there's a lot of wards that's slowing things down. That Guardian Angel makes sense to get him on that, especially his teleport being up, so the plays can easily be made when necessary.
It's such a great item for competitive play because you can coordinate your whole team around pushing with this giant power that you have for one fight only. So,
but it works.
Yeah, we'll see. Once he completes that, what's the actual execution?
Well, it's done.
Of Guardian Angel on Zach.
If we're like standing still for another 15 minutes, I'm gonna call you on it.
All right.
Okay. Just making sure. 3K. Oh, I'm looking at the back number of the 7. That's only 1K. It's 55 to 54. Teammate is going to try to hold this lead. Don't know how much of it came into their favor. Farming in the lanes has helped them out a little bit.
Dragon 5 seconds. This is it. Dragon number 5. They've got to fight this. Guardian Angel just in time for the dragon. Haha.
It was all about the dragon. Panning out for them. Uh-oh, this could be really bad. Great Dark passes to Jez's. He still has Spirit Rush up, so there's potential to pick somebody off and get to the back line if he needs. But Slushy's eyes are on Jez's, and he goes right for him and Mash. He drops Jez's down. Sheep's already out of the fight. He was able to get the box down, but it didn't stop anyone. Teammate come up with an almost ace. Mashme's limping away from this one.
Now, they do have control of the map. However,
there aren't many
the death timers are not very long, so they have to choose their objectives very, very carefully here. They've decided on inhibitor. They need to remember that both Dragon number 5 as well as Baron are up. 25 seconds on Jez's. They can grab one because they're going to go with the safe route. They do not want to give away 5th Dragon. They'd rather get Dragon off the map, make sure that Coast cannot respond with it, and then try and get back to defend Baron, because Baron would take Coast longer to do. So they have more time to try and get over there. They might have to trade it anyway, though. Coast are looking to call their bluff here. Chris does have teleport. Cali does have teleport as well, and there's a ward.
I like the choice. Cali Trolls goes
teleport comes in.
The bottom lane. That's going to be top teleport. Chris, instantly locked down. This is going to be Baron attempt number 2 for Coast.
He's going for it.
Mashme
check.
Was the guy to break up the fight the first time. Can he do it again? Cali Trolls is in. Chris is about to gnar out. This is the fight that both teams want here. Justice comes in. Maple goes down. Dodo's going to get wiped as well. And they start shredding down Team 8. Coming up from the Guardian Angel, but it's not enough. Cali Trolls puts on the Counter-Strike. They can't find the hits until they get the abilities back out. And Team 8 falls into the I think I can mentality, thinking they can keep jumping into this one. And now they almost get aced by Coast. Jazz is with the Flash Charm to actually secure the ace.
Ooh, they don't even want to take Baron. They're shoving into the base.
They have the wave.
Yeah, they're going to try and push all the way in here. All right, let's see how far they get.
That's a lot of time.
45 seconds on Cassidy is the longest.
It's a lot of time, Kobe. They have pretty good damage on these turrets. They have really good damage on these turrets. It's going to be 8 seconds from Morgana. Maple Street can put out a little bit of damage. They do have to worry about the crowd control that can be brought as well by Morg and Porpoise. Almost up. Now it's going to be Baron. Let's see what they can get out of this one. It should be taken down quite fast. I mean, Impaler's not even taking that many hits. So this should be good. A great play by Coast. They kind of just turned it on there. knowing that they would be able to get there in time and finally get teammate in the position they wanted.
Yep, and they're just able to get the Baron off. Can they recall in time? Morgana the only one. Everyone jumps out of the pit. Coast with a resounding team fight victory right there at Baron. Teammate, they were faced with such a difficult choice there. So many objectives, an inhibitor, a 5th dragon, or a Baron. However, by taking the dragon, it's not 5th dragon for Team 8. Right. So they then don't have the power to fight this. Maple Street, very aggressive with his positioning there, extremely far up. Once he's down, it's pretty easy for Coast to clean this up. Kassadin as well as Jarvan were coming all the way from base. No way they were going to get there in time. And then here, sunk cost fallacy. They decide to jump back in after they've already committed so much because they were going to try and salvage something from the situation, but only end up giving more. And Jesus just finishes off with style here.
Nice. Very nicely done. They did lose a turret within that. If you look at the base, the Nexus turret is down for Coast, so a bit of an edge that teammate did get out of that. However, they lost their own inhibitor, something Coast can pressure down now and split it even more with having those Baroned up minions in the side lanes. It's going to be tough. Good plays coming in here from Coast. A 5th dragon as well would give them aspect on top of Baron. It's pretty big. Yeah. Makes it pretty big.
And you have to say, you know, even though this game has been really back and forth and there are a lot of things that teams could have done differently, this is giving them so much experience as far as endgame shot calling, especially on a stage like this when there's this much pressure. Very, very few times in a scrimmage will you be faced with the option of Baron, 5th dragon, or inhibitor, and have the pressure of it during an LCS match. Really good job there by Team Coast picking up the pieces afterwards. They did not play scared. They went for the move. Very, very well rewarded. Now, 1 inhibitor each. Gold very even.
Yeah.
Talk about exciting games. A little bit different.
Well, it seems like the strategy teammate now we still see being played out. The split push coming in from Cali Trolls. They almost need him in the fights now. Chris is so huge. The 5-on pressure that Coast brings to these fights, it's kind of gotten too much for the split push to still be working. Still keeping pressure on. Calls Chris to the top lane. You can see Impaler there as well. But they're really just clearing out the top, clearing out their waves, and making sure this last push is going to count. Hopefully a last push, at least from the eyes of Coast. Pretty full items as well. Looking through the inventories, we might be 1 off. Pretty much full build of each champion here.
Baron buff, slowly going to time out. They just use it to try and defend while mid inhibitor is down. A few more seconds, and it will be back up. Boom. Mid inhibitor has respawned. Group up here for Coast. Thing is, Corki, one of the AD carries that has much stronger mid. That's why you always talk about the mid game here for Corki. As of right now, it starts getting harder and harder for him to actually crack through a strong front line. GA coming back up for Jax will be big. Basically, you're always watching AD carry positioning in endgame team fights. Once we get past this 40 or so minute mark, that's the #1. And the #2, of course, is the AP carries. Champions that you're keeping your eyes on. So, Maple Street cannot afford to get taken out.
Nope. Elixir of Wrath as well. He just purchased that up to give himself a little bit more. Start to see those expensive elixirs come into play now late game.
Very, 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 very good to pop those elixirs, by the way. Especially since endgame is all about constant team fights.
Yeah. You get a refresh.
And in a 5-on-5 team fight, you can get an extra duration on that. Coast really trying to work with that vision. They still want to start things off with a pick from Jez's. As we saw before, remember, Kassadin jumps in, takes a bit of harass. Slushy, the all-important Zhonya's, allows him to go so aggressive onto Jez's.
Right.
Kassadin is the anti-AP AP carry, looking to take out Jez's before the fight starts, just like happened mid. Oh, Mashman gets in with the binding!
What a play from Dodo! That could be it! Does it seal the deal, at least for this fight? It's definitely going to force Coast back into their base. This is a great time, however, for Chris to be Mega Nard. They second-guess the fight. They're out. That's going to be Kali Trolls in. He says, team, you got this? They're actually not sure about it. Everybody back in. Make sure you take down Jez's. Secure the kill. That's a double now coming in for Slushy, and it looks like they have eyes on this inhibitor.
And then, so there is another dragon backup. And the thing about the 5th dragon threat is that it never goes away, because they're going to have 4 dragons the entire game. The thing is, one Nexus turret is the only thing that stands here.
Oh my gosh.
Finish it.
Coast, it wasn't the same way, but Coast definitely had pretty much the lead coming into this with how the game was going.
Oh,
what a bind coming from Dodo. Now the Nexus turret falls. The Nexus is going down, and Team 8 is going to take the game over Coast. Wow.
This is just a polar opposite from our first game of the day, Riv. Constant fighting over high priority objectives. Really good endgame team fight there from Team 8. We just mentioned AD carry positioning. 3 seconds later, 3 seconds later, it's actually Mashme who gets hit with the binding and consequently loses the game.
Oh.
What a spectacular ending there. Very, very quick. Good job by Team 8 to go straight up the mid and try and end it.
Wow, strong play. Team 8, once again, showing that they can get victories here in the LCS as a new team over veterans, I should say. Everybody on Coast is a veteran, not a returning team, but they are making a name for themselves on Team 8. Dodo, the rest of the team as well. Keep saying Dodo because that play definitely solidified the game for them.
The binding heard around the world.
The binding heard around the world indeed. So Coast, what is the future for these guys? A long game. They started to claw their way back, but you can't expect this to happen every time, and then it does. Little things that just completely wash the game out.
So I think the main thing is they're definitely going to tailor their scrims towards endgame, and a lot of teams talk about how sometimes they'll remake games when one team is like winning a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like Team Coast would benefit a lot just from playing out every single scrim all the way until the end, just so they just get more practice like this when you're faced with so many different decisions like this. And